to be sharing with you in this video how to shift parallel realities, the secret to shifting parallel realities. Now, what this means is that you don't necessarily need to be subscribing to a belief system where reality works in an A to B to C to D fashion. It can work from A to Z, just like that. You can shift who you are and who you choose to be in this next moment right now has nothing to do, or at the very least very little to do, with who you were a moment ago. And you always have this choice to recreate yourself into a completely new version of who you were in each moment. But the truth is that we are usually in society, most of us are recreating ourselves into extremely similar versions of who we are every single day for years, for decades, possibly even multiple lifetimes, if you believe in that. And the key is to realize we can break out of this pattern, break out of this loop, get into a non-linear way of living and shift into different versions of who we are multiple times per day even. And I'm going to share with you in this video exactly how to do this. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. And the first thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of the secret to shifting parallel realities is to, number one, take some time, if you feel called, whenever you feel called, whatever that means to you, to disconnect from the external and have some sort of self-love in that moment. Now, that might sound cliche, but what I found to be true in my experience is that when I get too focused on the manifestation circumstantially, it can actually block the energy from flowing. And sometimes what I really need is to forget about the manifestation in terms of controlling the circumstance, and maybe what I need is to go for a 3-hour hike. And it doesn't mean that I can't think about the manifestation while I'm hiking if it makes me feel good and it makes me feel excited to visualize and to even be grateful how I'm in this new reality while I'm going for that 3-hour hike. Like maybe your version of self-love is to take a long, hot shower. You forget about everything. It's like, yep, this is too much for me to focus on. I'm just gonna take a long shower and not focus on this. While you're in that shower, you could easily be very grateful for the fact that you're in this new reality that your previous identity was not in just a moment ago. You can be grateful for this new amount of money that you're making. You can actually do that. Test this. You can become incredibly grateful. And the key is to step into that frequency of love, whatever that means to you, however you get there, however you get into that frequency, and then combine this with unconditional awareness, of course, which usually this comes from not controlling the circumstances and just unconditionally being aware. But combining this with some sort of a thought or affirmation if you feel called to do that, because you could also just not be thinking at all, totally let it go, not think anything, and just focus on that 3-hour hike. It all really depends. But the key is to start to realize that sometimes one of the best things to do to shift parallel realities is to do something completely different that has nothing to do with your manifestation whatsoever, and just totally remove it from your experience. Now again, if you feel called, you can visualize and be grateful while you're disconnected, but the key is to keep flowing the energy and not to get too focused on the manifestation circumstantially, because you don't need to be focused circumstantially on what you want other than the minimal actions that you believe you need to take to actually manifest it in your experience. Anything on top of that, any overly stressful action, is not the place that you want to be in terms of manifesting. So the first secret to shifting parallel realities is to take that time to disconnect from the external world, from the circumstance, and find a way to love yourself, whatever that means in that moment. As cliche as it sounds, you'll feel amazing, you'll forget about the manifestation, and you come back to the manifestation, you look at whatever you're trying to find, whatever you're trying to not find, but manifest, and then it can manifest just like that. Because you weren't too attached, right? When you let things go from a place of abundance, believing that you're gonna have it and you already do have it and you're not afraid of losing it. See, most people try to hold on to the circumstance because what if I lose it, right? And then they get into a parallel reality actually where they do lose it because they believe there's lack. When you're not going to lose anything, usually, if you trust yourself to disconnect from it and come back when you actually want to be there, right? Because if you're hung up on the circumstances, the truth is you probably don't even want to be doing it anyways. What you actually want to do perhaps is go for that 3-hour hike. So drop it and go for that 3-hour hike, and you'll find that usually by the time you're finished, things just work themselves out. And that's been my experience a lot of the times, and I can shift into different versions of myself quite often when I do this, when I jump from one thing to the next. Not that I'm fragmented and uncommitted, but I'm trusting my higher self to do what I actually feel like doing moment to moment. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you in terms of the secret to shifting parallel realities is the number 2, let it be easy and do what excites you. Like, do what excites you moment to moment. You know, I think rituals are powerful. I think structure is powerful. I think logic is powerful, but it should only come from a place of true excitement. Discipline, in my personal opinion, is not going to work for any person unless it's something they want to actually do. If you're disciplined because you believe you have to be, you're gonna fall off and you're gonna be uncommitted. And actually, in fact, it might damage you in the long run because you'll be so resentful towards yourself or whoever convinced you, so to speak, that you believed you had to be convinced by. Nobody's controlling you usually. We believe we are controlled by people because we choose to let them control us, but that's another video for another time. But however you got there, you convince yourself you have to be disciplined, and in my experience, we fall off and we resent ourselves and others in the process. But when you do what you actually want to be doing for reals, moment to moment, what you find is that you start to open yourself up naturally to the fact that reality is not linear, and that all these things that you'll feel called to do that are seemingly completely separate things are actually one big epic movie that's all holistically connected, where everything you want is supporting all of it in a holistic, unified way. So for example, you wake up in the morning, you go for that hike, and because you're so connected in that hike, that gives you the energy to go work on your business. And when you work on your business, it gives you the perfect amount of energy to then to be inspired, maybe to go make food. And the reason you can make food is because you're working on the business and because you went on that hike, right? And then the reason why you're able to maybe take a call later with your client in your business a couple hours later in such a perfectly aligned, holistic way is because you did all those other things previously in the day. And it's all connected by you following what feels right moment to moment. Now, this can usually lead people to be disciplined naturally as a result of finding what resonates and what doesn't resonate and having those boundaries. But in my opinion, that can only come from when you let your true desires actually, quote unquote, run you, not in a negative way, but you let your desires call you towards what you want moment to moment. And you just trust that, and you trust that you'll learn what you want, what you don't want, what you want to be disciplined in, what you don't want to be disciplined in, and trusting that you can let reality be easy and do what actually excites you for real. Because we get lost in these programs where we believe that we have to do certain things when the reality is that we want something else. And I'm here to remind you that you can actually drop what you don't truly want to be doing and go do what you actually want to be doing, that you feel is going to recharge you and bring you back to that connection that you need to have if you want to feel good in life with your higher self, with your spiritual power, with your inner guidance, with your inner guidance in your emotional system, and to feel how you want to actually feel. Now, the third and final thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of the secret to shifting parallel realities is to number 3, examine your belief systems. Okay, and I love to say things in that way. Examine your belief systems. Now, what does this mean? This means that most people have a belief, again, that reality is linear, or that manifestation has to be hard, or that money is limited, or that it's hard to manifest relationships. Whatever you want to manifest, I encourage you to investigate your belief systems around that particular topic. So let's just say you want to manifest money. Do you believe money is scarce? Do you believe money is limited? Do you believe that you have to go out of your way to make money? Do you believe that you can't be who you really are, who you naturally are, to manifest the money that you need to do what you actually want to do? Most people believe they need the money, but it's like, what do you actually want? I just want to do this. And then when you find out what this is, the money that you need comes to you because you're being who you are. When you're being who you really are, the money that you need to do what you actually want to do will always come to you, in my experience. In my experience, I've never, not since I've been on this planet, I've never not had the money to get exactly what I want in this moment right now. I'm gonna say that one more time. Ever since I was born, or since I chose to be on this planet, I have never not had enough money to get exactly what I want and need in this moment. You can even affirm that. I always have enough money to get exactly what I want and need in this moment now. Leave a comment down below and affirm that if you resonate with that. Now, that's a powerful belief because you realize that there's always abundance of whatever you want and need in this moment now. But are you open to seeing that? Are you open to the possibility, for example, that you are shifting between these different parallel versions of you moment to moment, and that who you choose to be right now does not need to be defined by who you were a moment ago? Do you believe that you can choose to be an identity that makes $20,000 per month, and simply because you decide that is not the case, you are a magician? You are such a powerful magician. Your voice speaks your reality. Do you believe that? What are your beliefs? Do you believe that you can snap your fingers and say, I am somebody that makes $20,000 per month, and decide that to be the case? And then let reality unfold. Let natural actions unfold that will lead you to that already being a reality. And do you trust that that's already who you are now simply by deciding that? Do you trust that your reality can shift overnight and that you don't need to be the same person again and again and again? Do you believe all these things? I encourage you to believe whatever resonates for you, but to notice where you have belief systems that do not resonate for you, and to examine your belief systems in terms of what is not working for you any longer. Because when you start to open yourself up to the infinite possibilities of this universe and realize that your belief systems create your reality, things can shift for you in an incredibly epic way where you're constantly shifting between these different versions of yourself, and you're just in an epic reality of abundance. Because why not? Because it's fun. Because you are a divine creator of your reality. Now, if you apply these things, what you notice is that you'll understand how to shift parallel realities much more, and your reality is going to be much, much more epic. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, please hit that like button for me so that more people can get access to this content, because I do believe that every single person on this planet does deserve to know that they are divine creators of their reality, and that they can manifest their reality and do so in the most effortless and easeful way possible, helping themselves and helping others in the process as well. And hitting that like button does help the YouTube algorithm push the videos out to more people, and that would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you have any thoughts in terms of this video was beneficial for you, if there's anything that you want to share, leave a comment down below. I'd love to read it. I read every single comment. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.